All right, players are ready.
Make yourself ref. Make yourself ref. Ref.
Oh, okay. I thought it wasn't allowed.
Ah, it's okay. It's okay. We're good. We're good.
E.g. Luigi. All right. TvT, and not just any TvT. TvT on Submarine.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so very excited. But before we get too far into this, I do want to give a quick shout out because I did just update a score. Everyone exclamation mark B in the chat. Vivid. Just 2-1 B-Stork.
B-Stork?
B-Stork, mate.
He took out B-Stork?
He took out B-Stork.
Vivid's back. That's all I'm gonna say. And Champs reinvigorating that as it reinvigorates players here on Submarine LE, of which you all reside in the LE Submarine. The LE Submarine. As we come in here in the bottom right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, the blue Terran player coming out from the land of Singapore. He is currently teamless, so you know any team owners out there. Well, he's teamless, but he's also technically on fine team, so you know, fine team for him. It'll all work out, but for now, he's going to be representing himself as well as his girlfriend, Jenny Kim. He is Hiro with an I.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Submarine LE, we have an Australian Terran player. He is representing Legacy Esports. It is RunaMoK.
I'm just staring at that production tab for the time being. Should probably keep a lookout on the minimap as well.
Yeah.
But that's mostly where my focus lies. Just want to see who builds what first.
Exactly. We're talking about Hiro, an incredibly cheesy and incredibly aggressive Singaporean Terran. And we're on a map like Submarine, mate.
He's all ready, making full use of it, Light. Immediately throws on the reactor.
Oh, that he does. On the other side of things, no reactor here for RunaMoK. And, the SCVs are drinking it out.
Very safe. Oh, who's going to get it first? RunaMoK makes it out of there. Jenny Kim does not pursue. And RunaMoK makes it out of there, keeps that SCV alive. More importantly, has a lot of scouting information up. He's now playing it very, very safe after seeing that reactor first coming out from Hiro. And might actually go for a proxy starport of his own.
Yeah, it would make sense, right? Like, we have a nice spot here to the south. We already have the factory just finishing up now. And we'll see if he throws down that starport.
There it is. Gotta love the libs.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if Hiro, yep, there we go. Once again decides to go for Reapers as well as Hellions. Not gonna have any anti-air for quite some time. To be fair, with the reactors on the barracks, getting a couple of Marines out shouldn't be too difficult. But again, this is Hiro we're talking about. He has only one base, and it's looking very exposed.
Definitely. Like, it's gonna be so difficult to deal with something like a Liberator. It'll take quite some time to get some Marines out or get a Viking out or something like that, as the Liberator already starts. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Hiro is looking to get up here, but the Winter Mine!
Mine burrows, and should be able to get a Hellion! Nicely done here. Hiro doing a pretty good job of splitting up his forces, but losing that Hellion, it hurts so much, especially because RunaMoK, even without that proxy lib, still well ahead in the army supply.
Oh yeah, definitely. And as you said, the lib, it is about to come out, but does it get spotted?
Barely does it. Now it does. Hiro going to be taking this very, very seriously. He has stopped Reaper production in favor of Marines. I don't think he has enough for Viking just yet. Okay, now he does.
Yeah, he does start the Viking, but he has to be careful because he is losing the battle on the ground as he loses a Reaper. Oh, but now he has reinforcements.
That he does. He also has this medevac, not just for heals, but also for some maneuverability. RunaMoK just legging it. Does not want to fight in the underground. He wants to go straight for that mineral line. He wants to cripple Hiro before he can do anything else.
And look at this, what a big brain. He sieges up the lib at the ramp, already taking out 2 Reapers.
And just like that, he's made himself a nice little bit of a buffer zone here, taking out 4 of these SCVs. Not quite the crippling RunaMoK wanted to do, but he is well ahead. He already has his natural CC almost done.
That's probably the biggest thing, right? Like, Hiro hasn't started a CC whatsoever. He's still focused on this one base play. And to be fair, in a TvT, like, you do expand a little bit later because of how aggressive you can be here in the beginning. But as the game goes on and progresses, this is getting better and better for RunaMoK.
That's, yeah, a little bit of an understatement here, I feel. Doing insanely well for RunaMoK here.
Definitely. And now there's a Cyclone as well. It's going to be so difficult for Hiro to make something happen. Oh, nice micro. Picks up that Marine.
Yeah. Been landing the Viking. Just have a little bit more DPS on the ground. Oh, the Reaper's still alive though, Light. And they are picking off SCV after SCV after SCV.
Oh, that they are. The Widowmine shot goes off. The medevac goes down. There's barely anything left here. He lands the lap of the Viking, but it's not going to be enough. He's not just losing here, but on the other side. Exactly. And the Reapers are just keep killing workers.
Very nice micro coming out from RunaMoK. And he is running circles around these tanks. Or this tank, I should say. Does get cleared up in the end, but at what cost? Look at that worker supply difference, Light. And tell me that RunaMoK has not basically secured a victory.
Exactly. Hiro, he scans the main base, he sees the third in production, and I don't know what he does from here, especially because like he just burned a scan. He only has one CC, 4 scans, and now we have a Cloak Banshee coming in.
It's gonna do so much.
It can kill it.
Vikings are a great anti-air. There is a Raven out, but
true.
Oh wait, no. Never mind. For some reason, I thought RunaMoK had a Viking from earlier on. No, he was focused entirely on anti-ground air units.
Yeah, that he was. And honestly, Hiro, he cleaned that up really nicely. Like, he did prioritize that Raven, so he was ready for the Banshee coming into the main base. And now I feel like this is his last hurrah. This is like...
This is definitely what it is. And to be fair, it can still get quite a bit done. Having the Raven is not something to take lightly. It has a interference matrix on it, and he's doing pretty well. Has the air superiority, as little as that does this early on. He does have it, and he's got a pretty healthy number of tanks.
Definitely. Like, he can interference matrix this one tank. Go for it.
He does go right on top of it, but a little slow to end siege his tanks. It looks like it's going to be enough with the landed Vikings, though. But from here, what does he really get done? He's about to get surrounded. There we go, GG, as the Banshee cleans up the rest of his SCVs. RunaMoK with some very... I want to describe it as competent defense here. Or rather, just very good decision-making coming out from him.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how familiar RunaMoK is with Hiro. I don't know if they play each other often on the ladder, but that was a really well executed build. Really abusing kind of the initial army composition of Hiro, like with that Liberator. Like, it took so much for him to deal with it, and that was just well done. That was great.
Very much was. I want to say he was watching the last game against Nameless and thought, oh, this guy, he is cheeky. You have to watch out for him.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And we see the SCV Scout. Something we don't actually see often in TvT. It's very much a stylistic thing. Well, it's either a stylistic thing, you have some Terran players who will SCV scout no matter what in the TvT, and then you have others who only SCV scout if they don't trust their opponent. I wonder which side RunaMoK falls under.
Yeah, I wonder as well. Again, like, the amount of games that we've been able to see from these players is very limited, so we get to explore that as the series progresses, alongside everyone else, as we are loading in to game number 2.
It's time on Oxide. Year the Ox.
#Year of the Ox. Oh boy.
And speaking of oxes, as we breathe and as we oxidize, we now spawn into Oxide LE. We're in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner. The blue Terran player, he is coming down from the land of Singapore Gonna be representing himself as well as his girlfriend Jenny Kim. We have Hiro with an I.
And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Australian Terran player. He is purple. He is representing Legacy Esports. Already up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. It is RunaMoK.
Again, we don't see proxies. I feel
Right?
cheated.
The hell, Hiro? What's going on? I mean, to be fair, he still stayed on 1 base last game.
He did for quite some time. To be fair, he was also economically crippled.
True.
I have to imagine he would have gotten an expansion out, especially since, you know, from what we've heard anyway, he does like the TvT matchup a lot more than the non-mirror matchup, so might be more inclined to play this straight, or, well, again, you can't play TvT straight, but might be more inclined to play this more macro.
Yeah, he definitely could. I mean, he had some nice moves, he had some nice micro. We have seen that he is capable of expanding. He's done so in the past. But I don't know, maybe he packed up his keyboard after that last series versus Nameless, and he's back to the numpad.
I would not be surprised. Just limit the amount of misclicks you can have. Ooh. That's a bit of an unfortunate SEV there.
What just happened? What just happened? Okay,
the SEV got walled in, and it wanted to attack the SEV building the factory, but then it looked like it was patrolled.
I think so.
And then it just got killed.
Yeah. I think maybe RunaMoK accidentally put it on patrol. I'm not too sure. But yeah, already
attack patrol, mind you, but patrol nonetheless. Okay, RunaMoK already had a pretty good scout, and there we go. The SCV was already weakened. Allows this one Reaper to just go in, get a ton of damage. Confirm that it is going to be Reapers coming up from Hiro. Marines would have been out by now. So he's just playing it defensive once again, going for the safety mine.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see how RunaMoK plays this out, because he scouted and he saw that Hiro's basically going for the same opener that he did in the previous game. But this time, RunaMoK does not have an SCV out of the map to proxy that starport. Oh, not again!
That's kind of painful. Very devious positioning in the mine there, right in the middle of that ramp. Wouldn't notice until it's far too late. And with that, RunaMoK dealt with this even better than he did in game number 1. Gonna bring the Reapers all the way to the other side of the map. Try to get as much SCV damage as he can once again as Hiro switching things up.
Ooh, he is switching things up, and it's not just that economic damage that RunaMoK is going to be looking for, because it's so important if he sneaks in and if he scouts this one-on-one with the tech lab researching, and it looks like he will
Should be able to get it.
Sees the starport.
Go a little to the south there. He does. I see Tech Lab though does not. All he knows is that there's something being produced out from that starport. Hiro not revealing his hand whatsoever. Going immediately across the map with that Banshee. RunaMoK still has not seen it.
He has not, and as a result, like, what does he have that shoots up? He has that Widowmine from earlier, I suppose. He is making a Viking and a couple of Marines.
And he does have a couple of scans available for him. He just needs to make sure he doesn't mule hammer too hard.
He just did. He has no scans.
Oh, god. That's what we might consider to be less than ideal. Real nice supply cap coming here from
He's going for the tank.
Hiro. There he goes straight for the tank. I have to wonder though, is that as ideal? It's just going straight for the SCVs. Well,
interesting.
It will stifle RunaMoK from going for any kind of aggression early on. So maybe it is, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's basically focusing on the army units, and that means that the follow-up push from Hiro, if he goes for one, is going to hit that much harder.
And now he's supply capped. Not quite supply capped anymore, but again, you do not want to be down this much supply.
Oh my god, and he's just dealing more and more damage.
A lot of damage.
Oh my god, he gets out of range of the scan! 2 health!
Huh. It's on literally 2 health, but it will run out of energy. Oh, you gotta make it out of there, Hiro. I don't think he will. Unless RunaMoK turns around his Viking.
He does. Oh my god. RunaMoK is down to 15 SCVs. And look at this.
Already.
Oh.
The
SCVs.
Oh, but it's being targeted. It was, in fact, being targeted on the SCVs as well as the tech, so nothing actually died there. Tech is very bruised, but there are SCVs here to just give it a quick little repair.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they do. And here comes the follow push, and that's why it's so important that Raven did focus on the army instead. Like, there's no tank. There's 0 tanks here.
There is 0 tanks. Now, RunaMoK will have the air superiority for the time being, but it's not really going to accomplish much. He needs to make sure he has the quickest interference matrix in the west, but he doesn't even have enough energy on that Raven.
Exactly.
Turn, that's going to be it.
That's all he has available to him. The bunker goes down, the natural gets evacuated, and we'll see how this fight turns out. He has to buy time. The tank comes out. Oh no, the Yaku curse!
Dude, the most unfortunate Yaku curse in existence immediately gets interference matrix. And just like that, Hiro really impressing me here. Takes game number 2, brings it to the ace match? He knows how to adapt, like.
Wow.
Every single loss that Hiro faces, he uses it as an opportunity to expand his brain.
Exactly. That was such a nice play there with the Banshee. And so unfortunate for RunaMoK, because when he got into that main base with his Reaper, he had the opportunity to scout. Like, he was like there for like a solid 10 to 15 seconds, like shooting away at the mineral line. Like, if he wanted to, he could have confirmed what the production was looking like.
Yeah, for the longest time, just thought it was going to be a straight 1-1-1 Marine Tank Viking push, which, to be fair, that's what he was dealing with towards the end of game number 1, so don't exactly blame him for thinking it's going to be the same thing there, but you always got to confirm. You cannot go off of half information like that, you know? Filling in the blanks is not something you can get away with.
Yeah.
At least not in TvT.
StarCraft, like, more so than anything else, is a game of, like, information. You know, it's like what you know, what you don't know, what you can cross off the list. Like, what is my opponent doing? And unfortunately, he didn't know. He assumed that he was okay. He maybe assumed that Hiro was doing the same thing he did in game number 1, right? And that cost him the game.
He might actually make it to the semifinals here. I'm just looking at the bracket.
It's
a bit of a shorter one today. We do have single elimination, which, depending on your outlook, is unfortunate or fortunate.
Yeah, honestly, it could go either way here. We are tied up 1-1. This is it. We are heading into the ace match as game number 3. The lobby has been made.
Has been decided. The map will be Death Aura. Bring it full circle here, Light. Oh. Okay, we're on a little bit of a wrong server here, but RunaMoK, there we go. Said he is fine with that. Nice and sporting here. Always gotta appreciate that.
Yeah, as long as we have guidelines, but as long as the players agree to it, they can go for another server. So it looks like game number 3, the ace match, will be played on Singapore, and we'll see how this turns out, mate.
I would not be surprised if RunaMoK will actually be the first player to switch things up here, go for a bit of a proxy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens as we load into Death Aura. LE here in the top of the left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top of the left-hand corner. The blue Terran player coming out for the land of Singapore. He has expanded his brain. He's expanded his keyboard. And he's doing it all for you, Jenny, if you're watching in the chat. He is going by the name of Jenny Kim, but that's actually just his girlfriend. His name is Hiro with an I.
And spawning in at the bottom right-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have old mate. He's Aussie. He's red this time, no longer purple. He is representing Legacy Esports. It is RunaMoK.
Okay. TvT things are happening. Double gas going down with this Barracks back at home. Can't say I'm disappointed here, but I'm a little surprised that neither of these players went for proxy. It's TvT.
Yeah.
You expect to see it at least once in a TvT series.
Not when Hiro's involved. He's like, nah, mate, TvT, I'm an honorable player. I one base it up. Never expand.
There's no need for me to subjugate other Terran players to that.
Exactly. But we'll keep
I know how annoying it can be.
We'll keep an eye on it because, like, RunaMoK, he did proxy the starport in game number 1. He could go for it once again here in game number 2. We have seen time and time again. There's this area here to the south of the main base. You can proxy if you wish, but it's also kind of obvious as well, so it's difficult for it to go unscattered.
Yeah, well, if we're going back on, information or complete informations, then you can also sort of assume that a player like Hiro might just not have the resources to spare to go for a scout like that if they decide they need to be as aggressive as possible earlier on.
Definitely. Ooh. As once again, Hiro is going for the same opener, like the same basic opener, which is, of course, he gets the reactor on his Rax first to begin with. Meanwhile, RunaMoK goes for that naked Rax, sending his initial Reaper across the map, looking to find a little bit of worker damage, maybe picking off an SCV.
This time he will have complete information. Well, I would hope so when he sends Reaper back in for a second scout.
Yeah, this time, because of the building positioning, it should be a lot easier to just passively just see what the add-ons are looking like. So it should be a little bit better, hopefully, maybe.
Potentially.
RunaMoK, please.
Well, he needs to be more defensive here. He knows that Hiro is moving across the map. Interesting mind placement, though. Did not expect Hiro to go around this, it seems.
Yeah, 2 games in a row, Hiro just face checks that mine, but here in game number 3, not yet. Or am I speaking to...
Tried to bait that in, but Hiro, he ain't taking the bait. Will be taking up the... Oh, just barely. The Reapers make it to the bunker in time. And it makes it that much harder here for RunaMoK to... Or for Hiro, rather.
Yeah.
Much damage done. We'll be able to delay the natural base, which is so important here for him.
Exactly.
That's again, he does want to one base it up for as long as possible.
That's one of the rough things about going for a Wooden Mine first instead of a Hellion is that, the defense is stationary and it can be avoided. So really well done there by Hiro, delaying that natural for as long as it can. I believe it is misplaced as well, question mark? It's looking...
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit off center, but it's a Terran building. He can lift it and place it back in.
Very true. And once again, we do...
NBD.
And what's interesting is that Hiro, he is making sure he denies any kind of Reaper scout that goes in, and we do see once again that Banshee.
But only a single Banshee this time. Afterwards, he's just focusing more on the Raven, trying to work on a follow-up push behind this. Does have a pretty nice scan over here, but RunaMoK is taking this a lot more seriously. He's going Raven first, even catches the Banshee here with his Reapers.
Yeah, Hiro
being a little bit indecisive, moves back.
Yeah, he saw the Reapers and I guess he pulled back. I mean, the Reapers are going to be dealt with here by the Marines, but it does delay that Banshee. And
once again, uber important right now for RunaMoK. He needs to make sure he has as many army units alive, and not just that, he needs to make sure his economy is still up and running. Because that's his main advantage at the moment. The minute he loses that, it's anyone's game.
And this is interesting because Hiro, like, when he got scouted, he saw that he got scouted and he decided to keep the Banshee with his main army. He made the decision, okay, I respect my opponent enough. He will be ready for this Banshee because he saw it, and it'll be useless for me to send it across the map. So I might as well keep it with the main army.
And it is a massive main army for the moment here, Light. RunaMoK has some pretty decent defenses. He's got that bunker up in the right in front of his natural base, but his tank is very far back.
Yeah, he does have 2 tanks. Of course, one of them is vulnerable to be interference matrixed by the initial Raven of Hiro, and it looks like he does avoid the Marines for now. RunaMoK did scan, and he did see that his opponent is on 1 base.
And as long as he's able to hold this, he knows that there's not much that Hiro can do to really get an advantage once he holds.
Ooh, and Hiro, he did just go off the ramp. He checked to see what there was. He saw a couple of Marines. He's waiting for the extra Vikings though to make sure he gets that air superiority.
Yeah, ideally you want to take out that Raven before it can get much done. But RunaMoK taking this very seriously, getting a couple of Vikings of his own. Not just going to have defender's advantage, but pretty quickly aerial superiority as well. It's all going to come down to his Raven. About that and the micro here. RunaMoK really winning that battle in the air. The bunker will be forfeit, but the tanks really preventing Hiro from making any headway.
Yeah. Like, how do you push into this? 3 defensive tanks, 1 on the high ground. Sure, you have a Raven for 1 interference matrix, but that's not going to be enough.
No, it will not. Even the auto turret's not getting too much done here. Immediately mowed down by the bio as well as the tanks. And Hiro, it looks like a steam push, starting to lose steam.
Exactly. With those auto turrets being shut down, he didn't even get a single tank kill with that. Like, he has to turn away. He has to turn around. He has to expand.
But is it too late? The worker supply difference is gargantuan right now for RunaMoK, and he is just continuing to pump out worker after worker after worker. Hiro working on his natural base. RunaMoK already working on that third.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, Hiro, he realized that his push wasn't going to work a little bit too late. It's really cool that he saw that and he's like, I can't win from here. I have to expand. He didn't force it, but at the same time, like, you're so far behind at this point. I don't know what you do from here.
You pray, you hope that RunaMoK takes a very bad engagement. Obviously, Hiro still has a very healthy tank count here. Didn't lose any of them in that push,
True.
which is really important for him. TvT can just really swing from one. The pendulum of advantage can really swing from one player to another in TvT because of tank positioning like that. But RunaMoK is well aware of this. He got that air superiority, and he's already working on the Liberators.
Exactly. That's the thing that's a little bit scary, because you were talking about tank positioning, and I would 100% agree that it can be so difficult to push up a ramp into this, and maybe Hiro can elongate the game. But not when Liberators are involved. Like, that's like the anti-tank unit. Like, with this, he's going to force Hiro back.
Yeah, even if you have Marines to try to deal with what's going on in the sky, there's still plenty of dead air on Def Aura. Or not even dead air, but just, you know, pillars and spots like that that make it a little bit awkward for Marines to try to target it down. They have very short range.
Exactly, especially when there are tanks covering those Liberators as well here from the low ground. And, okay, Hiro, he does get the first shot off, and he does not see the main army. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he has lost a lot of Marines, but that's not the main... that's not what he really needs to be concerned about here, is it? Like, trying to bring these Vikings as well as these Marines back, and a lot of them do fall to the tanks of RunaMoK. Now, Hiro has a lot of Marines here, but what good is that going to do him against the positioning here from RunaMoK?
Exactly,
That's back into a corner.
That's the big question. Oh my god, his tanks are within range of the tanks of RunaMoK!
Did not even need the Liberators here.
Aye.
But he really needs, there it is, he needs to go for a sim and pray. Pray that it's going to be enough, but there are just so many tanks. I doubt Hiro can deal with this in time. Pull the boys, but that's not going to help him out, especially with the Liberators in the sky. I think we're going to get a GG very soon.
Exactly, that was everything that Hiro had. It was a nice call pulling the boys and steaming forward, but it was just not enough. RunaMoK just absolutely evaporates the army. GG gets called.
Well played, says Hiro. RunaMoK gotta take that series 2-1. Even when playing on the Singapore server.
GG. Oh my god, I'm so impressed by both players. Like, Hiro, he had a really sick run today. He got to show off, he got to take a game of RunaMoK. RunaMoK showing that his macro is a little bit superior there in the end. And now he will advance, he will move on. And we have our first semifinals ready and waiting for us.
Indeed we do, and it's gonna be a TvZ once again, having a lot of Terran here. Quite a bit of a rare treat when it comes to, well, actually, when it comes to a lot of the online events we cast, funnily enough.